Hello, beautiful people. I'm back, and we're gonna do a part 2 to the chakra pulls with my oracle deck that has the crystals on it. And I'm excited to get into these 3 piles with you. But first, let's breathe together because I need it too. I think he needs it too. Let's take 3 deep breaths in through the nose. And if you feel called to place your hand on your body or your heart or anywhere, in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, as deep as you can. Hold that for a second and sigh it out. In through the nose and out through the mouth. All right. He just spilled all my cards. Okay, so I'm gonna show you 3 different little piles so that you can choose. This is gonna be, if you pick this crystal, this rose quartz, then you're gonna be pile 1, and pile 1 is gonna be your message, okay? So if you feel resonance with this crystal, then you're pile 1. Now we have this beautiful Ganesha, the remover of obstacles. If you feel resonance with Ganesha, then you are pile 2. Okay? Now, our last pile is this beautiful obsidian that I bought in Colombia at a little market. So if you feel resonance with this crystal, then you are pile 3. Okay? You cutie. Okay, so let's get into pile 1 first. And I just wanted to do like a general message today. Just what is this person processing right now is what I kind of asked. You know, what is going on right now, and what area of their body is this activating, you know? Like, so the first card that I picked here for pile 1 is this rose quartz card. And it has a lot to do with coming back to your heart. And, you know, I think sometimes we don't realize when our heart tightens and maybe closes a little bit, maybe because we were hurt by something or because we don't feel safe to be in our emotional expression sometimes when we're on our own. And I think sometimes we don't even realize when our heart hardens a little bit and contracts a little bit. And so this card is really a reminder that whatever you're going through right now, whatever you're processing in your life right now, don't leave your heart behind. She can come with you. He can come with you, you know? And yeah, I've been through it so many times where I feel like I don't even realize it. And then I'm in meditation and I'm like, oh my God, like I've been suppressing my heart and I didn't even realize. So sometimes it's just about noticing it and telling yourself, do I feel strong enough to invite my heart into the conversation today? And if not, that's okay too. Okay, we're learning. We're on a journey. We're students. It's okay. So I did pull some tarot cards here. And the first two cards that came out were the Queen of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. So there's a pentacle in both of these cards, and that is the suit of the pentacles. It represents the earth. So there's something about whatever you are processing at this time, whether it is you're working on yourself, maybe you're doing some inner work, maybe you are starting a business or starting a project, or you just want to get your life together in a different way. And you want it to feel grounded. You want it to have long-term stability. And you also want it to feel sustainable. You want your routine to feel like something that nourishes you, not something that burns you out or makes you feel like you need a break from it, or makes you feel like, damn, I did so much work today, like I just need to do nothing for 2 days. Like, you don't want it to feel that way. You want it to feel sustainable, where it's like work doesn't feel like work, or what I'm doing from this practical place, it doesn't feel like strenuous on my body. It feels light, and it feels like something I can move towards at a slow and steady pace with respect for my body and my needs and my time, you know? So that's the energy that you're in right now, but it does feel very practical, and it does feel, especially because the Justice card came out, so it feels like you may be operating from a place right now where you really feel like you're focused, and you want to, you're kind of in this mode of looking at yourself with the Justice card and saying, oh, okay, this is how I need to change this. This is how I'm going to take accountability for the ways that I've been showing up and trying to show up in a new way. So this card has a lot to do with accountability and taking responsibility for your actions, and noticing the ways that maybe you took part in what caused misalignment for you in the past, and noticing like, okay, I'm doing this self-evaluation right now, and I'm realizing, connecting these dots, and I'm saying, okay, this is how I want to move forward from now on. And I want to reevaluate how I relate to what I'm stepping into versus how I related to life in the past. So this is a big card for taking an honest look at yourself and saying, okay, this is what works, this is what doesn't work, this is what needs to change. But this is also a card that's very much in the mind and very practical and very pros and cons list type of energy, instead of like maybe tapping into your heart, which I feel like that's kind of what this is asking you here. It's like, how can I include my heart in this process? How can I be in this beautiful, beautiful energy of the page, of the Queen and the Knight, but not leave my heart out of the equation? Can I feel my feelings throughout this process? Can I honor my heart's desires throughout this process too? It's not, I think sometimes we fear that if we go too far into our feelings or into our hearts, it's going to distract us, or it's going to take away from how focused we are. But it's like, if we neglect our emotions, that always backfires. It's going to backfire. So it's like, I feel like you're noticing that right now. Like, you're taking a deep and honest look at yourself, and you're saying, I know what needs to change. Especially with the Two of Wands here. It's like you're looking out and you're noticing, okay, that's what I want. And I know what I need to shift internally to receive what I want. Because this came out reversed. And I do like to include reversals, but not in an aggressive way. Just in a way where we're just asking questions of like, okay, how do I get myself to see things clearly? How do I get myself to really feel like my heart is in it? Because it feels like your heart is in whatever this is, but it feels like there's a tiny bit of resistance to fully stepping into what you already know to be true. Like it feels like you already know what needs to shift within you. And there's a little bit of, not a delay, but it's like you're taking your time with this because maybe this is the first time that your heart has ever felt truly safe. So it's okay to feel a little bit of resistance or a little bit of, okay, this is new for me and I'm a little scared of what that's going to look like, but I'm also being honest with myself. And I know that the only way that I can actually move forward is that I need my heart to be in this conversation. I hope this is landing. I feel like I sound a little cryptic right now. But if you get it, you get it. And if you pick this, I feel like you're gonna feel the resonance here of knowing what needs to change and it having to be a heart-led change. Not here. Not a change that happens from willpower or from, okay, I made this decision and I'm making this rule for myself and I'm just gonna be practical about it and I'm just gonna change it. No, it feels like this change or realization here is coming from a space, is coming from a heart-based decision. It's coming from a deeper level of integration with your emotional state and with your emotional expression. Because I think sometimes, you can try the willpower thing all you want. But if it's not coming from your heart, if it's not coming from, I'm doing this for me because I love me. And I know it's going to feel hard and resistant sometimes, but I'm doing this because I love myself. And I want to succeed. And I want to feel good about myself. And I want whatever venture I'm creating, whatever I'm moving towards, that's going to give me that long-term stability. I don't want to move towards it just from up here. I don't want to leave my heart out. I want to be fully in this, my entire being. So, yeah, let me know if that resonated. Like what I wonder what that was about for whoever needed to receive that, because genuinely I can relate to that. And I understand that sometimes it feels like being heart-led can stifle progress or not, or like derive you off of your focus and your strength and your willpower and your determination. But I just feel like if you're somebody who's being really truthful with yourself, you know that integrity is important, you know that authenticity is important, and you know how important it is to be in a space where you're leading from the heart. And that's what the world needs. And don't do it because the world needs it, do it because you need it. It's so important to be in a space where you can genuinely say that you have a good relationship with your own heart and that is what guides you forward. It's a beautiful thing to be in that space. And not a lot of people are. So I congratulate you for wanting to be in that space and desiring that for yourself and for your life. And for making the right calls and for being real with yourself, for being honest with yourself. Because a lot of people don't go there. A lot of people don't want to be uncomfortable with themselves, and you're doing it. Okay? So that's beautiful. And if you feel called to get a rose quartz, it can feel really healing sometimes to just have this tool around, like sometimes I sleep with it on my chest when I feel some heaviness around my heart. And it just feels nice to have a little tool that can accompany you on your path. And especially when you have a specific intention, using these tools can be really powerful and transformative and feel like a little gentle being is holding your hand and that you're not alone. So let's get into pile 2, because I thought pile 2 was very interesting as well. And it is the crystal that came out for this from my oracle deck is called Angelite. And it's this beautiful white crystal that on the outside it kind of looks like a rock or like a geode or something, but it's a really, really beautiful crystal. I used to have one. I don't know where it went, but anyways, this crystal is associated to the throat chakra and the crown chakra. So this has a lot to do with communicating with spirit, communicating with your guides, communicating with your angels, and knowing that you have divine support around you and that you're not alone and that you're never alone. Even when you feel alone, you're not. And I think sometimes we don't even realize when we're pushing our guides away because we just want to be in our shell and we just want to be alone, and we're like, and I think those are the moments where we have to call on them even harder and talk to them even more. When we have those moments where we don't want to talk or we don't have it in us anymore, So this is a beautiful introduction to what we're going to tap into with these 4 cards that I pulled here, because the first card that I pulled was the 9 of Wands. This is a different tarot deck, but the 9 of Wands is a figure that reminds me of someone, and it did come out reversed, so it just reminds me of, like, it feels like this person wants to be strong. You see his muscles here, right? Like, he wants to be strong. He wants to continue protecting himself and have his guard up, like he wants to be able to fend for himself and be strong. And it feels like since this came out reversed, and it's like, you are strong, okay? You are strong, but it feels like this card coming out reversed feels like the feeling of, I don't want to be strong anymore. Like, I don't have it in me. And it feels like emotional exhaustion and maybe a little bit of like a nervous system burnout or nervous system exhaustion of, damn, I've had my guard up for so long. I've been protecting myself for so long. I've been in a space of just constantly fending for myself. And now I'm just tired. I'm tired. That's what I felt from this energy of like, I just want to put this all down and just, it's just this exhaustion energy. But I don't want to put that on you, because we can simultaneously live our lives and do the things and do what needs to get done. And underneath it all, we feel a little bit burnt out or emotionally tired from processing emotions or processing past hurts or processing breakups or processing things that didn't go our way. And that's just a part of the human experience. It's just a part of the human experience, And this is not forever, this energy. It's like you're reaching the finish line of these feelings of exhaustion. Things are going to shift very soon, because this is a 9, okay? You're reaching the end of this, and this is not going to be your baseline forever. And it's okay that you feel exhausted right now. It means that you're processing the hurt. It means that you're processing what happened, and you're not spiritually bypassing it or ignoring the signals in your body that are telling you, I need rest, I'm tired. So this is not something to be ashamed about or something to feel bad about. This is something to honor. This is something to honor deeply. Like, okay, I'm noticing that my body is just, even though maybe I don't seem like I'm doing much in the physical, I'm going through some deep exhaustion right now, internally, emotionally, in my body. And I'm going to honor that. And this is a beautiful space to call on your angels and call on your guides that can support you through this, because this is not something that you want to do alone anymore. Maybe you carried your emotions and bottled them up for a long time and you carried everything by yourself. And I feel like this card is asking you, like, you can't do that anymore. That's not sustainable anymore. And it feels like you're exhausted of doing that and you're just gonna let your guard down. Like it feels like maybe you're actually being forced to just let it all down and stop protecting yourself. And maybe you're in a space where you feel safe and you feel like you don't have to do that anymore, but your past self did that. And it's like this in-between state of, okay, I feel safe enough to let my guard down, but now I feel all this exhaustion from the past because I wasn't able to feel it before because I had my guard up. Wow, that's so interesting that came through, because I didn't even, wow. And then the Seven of Pentacles came out, and to me, combined with the Nine of Wands, is like, you're kind of looking at all the effort that you put into this garden. You see this garden right here? You're looking at all your efforts. You're on your knees a little bit. And I feel like her being on her knees kind of adds this layer to the message of, I'm literally on my knees for this. I've done everything I can. And I feel like, where is my ROI? Where's my return on investment? I feel like this card is communicating to me that, like, this person is not only emotionally exhausted, but you also may feel like all the effort you put in, just, like, you might be reflecting on your efforts and, like, if they were worth it. And that feels like it's activating some grief right now with the Five of Cups. Of like, wow, I put in so much love into this relationship. I put so much love into this project. I put so much energy into those relationships. And what did they get me? Exhausted. And you know what? We've all been through that, okay? We've all been through that where we realize, oh my God, I gave so much and I literally got nothing back except for disappointment and exhaustion. But you know what I did get? Wisdom. I learned from this experience. And since I learned from this experience, I'm never going to let that happen again. And that's why the grief piece is extremely important. Because when we grieve something, we get deeply in touch with, okay, how did I let this happen? Why did this happen? What is it teaching me? What is my sadness? What is my grief showing me right now? And I feel like you're being called to, with this angel light, it represents coming back into your vulnerability and into your softness and being gentle with yourself and saying to myself, okay, I can't hold it in anymore. I'm gonna let it all go. I'm going to process this. I'm going to admit to myself that I may have put my efforts somewhere where I wasn't appreciated, where people couldn't meet me, where there was misalignment. But now I know better. And now I know that those efforts are not a waste because I'm gaining valuable emotional clarity. And the Five of Wands reverse came out. So to me, I'm kind of getting an energy from this card that since you do feel this level of burnout right now and exhaustion, this card adds another layer to it, which is not wanting to engage with any type of chaos whatsoever, and maybe wanting to withdraw a little bit from anything that can like trigger your nervous system or trigger feelings of sadness about the past. And I get it. I get not wanting to think about certain things from the past or not wanting things to resurface that need to be processed, but I feel like you're really being asked right now to soften and to allow yourself to go through the process of grief, to allow yourself to have these emotions, because if you withdraw from your emotional experience, then you withdraw from your soul, and you withdraw from your heart, and you withdraw from your angels, and you withdraw from all of the benevolent forces that want to help you and that want to be there for you. And I know it's easier said than done, because I've had my moments where I've felt like life is too much and I just needed to kind of be in a dark hole for a little bit. And I get it. I do get that. And if that's your experience right now, I want to personally tell you that I validate that. If no one's told you that before, I personally want to tell you that I get it. I validate your feelings. And it's okay to go through that, okay? But also know that if you do feel safe enough, if you do feel ready enough, that there are benevolent forces that want to help you. And you have it in you to feel the grief that needs to be processed. You have it in you to stay connected to your soul throughout this process, even if it's painful, even though it hurts, even though you feel like you may not have it in you anymore. I get it, okay? And I feel like Angel Light is really asking you to understand that even in these moments, spirit, angels, guides, they have not abandoned you. And they can be with you as you move through the density, the heaviness, and the more challenging emotions that life offers us. Because one thing that I've learned is that, you know, emotional waves, especially if you're a very sensitive person, they're never gonna go away. Newsflash, like, the density, the feelings of heaviness that come and go, like that is just a part of the human experience. That is not something that you can make it go away or that you can avoid. But it's something that we can get better at relating to. It's something that we can get better at regulating our nervous system. We can get better at feeling our feelings. We can get better at having boundaries with our feelings and not allowing them to make decisions for us. So and I hope that you're hearing that receiving that from a place of, oh, okay, that's empowering. I get to define my relationship with my feelings. And I accept that I'm an emotional being and it's inevitable that I'm gonna feel things. That's not gonna go away. And one thing that I want to share with this group, and something that I've been practicing a lot recently, is not even when I'm not a huge meditator. I feel like I meditate throughout the day, or like when I walk, or when I garden, or when I do certain things, or just when I sit and like look at the sky and look at the birds, you know. And one thing that I've been practicing is observing yourself as consciousness. So like, and you can do this with your eyes closed or open, but just observing that you're literally just a meat suit. Like you literally are just like flesh and bones, but your consciousness observing itself having a human experience. And that sometimes helps me to detach from an emotional story and just allow the feelings to come through my body instead of attaching to the story, right? Attaching to, oh, like I feel this way because this person did that and this happened and life's not fair. Like, and I know you don't do that victim shit. I know you don't do that. But it's like, sometimes observing yourself as consciousness can be so powerful because it makes you realize that this is really not as serious as we sometimes feel like it is. And sometimes it does feel really serious and it does feel really scary. And those moments are valid too. And I feel like this card is really asking you to, you know, you're grieving what didn't work in the past. You're grieving all of the effort that you put in, whether it's love or whether it's a project. And you're realizing that you want more alignment. You want to be in situations where you're putting energy into something that isn't going to cause emotional exhaustion and burnout. And you're grieving the old way. You're grieving all that was lost, but it's not lost. And you're also grieving the ways where you maybe tried to prove your worth or tried to prove that you were good enough, or ways where maybe you put a little too much effort into something without feeling that alignment first. So, you know, and I think that sometimes when we're grieving these things, that we can sometimes get into our heads with the Five of Wands and think about, dang, I should have done this right. Or, you know, like that inner chaos of like, oh, I wish I had said this, or I wish that it went this way, or like just the replaying of the memories in your head that is kind of, you know, sometimes when we're in a grieving space, memories come up that are uncomfortable for us to process. You know, that always happens to me, and it's uncomfortable. And you know, you don't want to think those thoughts because then it triggers feelings. But I really want to strongly offer to you that whatever is coming up right now, you're in a perfect position, in the perfect space, in the perfect mindset to receive it. I want to offer that up to you because why would angels, why would universe give this to you in this moment if you couldn't handle it? Okay? And maybe in the past you used to withdraw and you used to not face yourself. But this is an opportunity to face those conflicts, to face maybe those little battles that are happening within, and to be brave. And again, to allow yourself to soften into vulnerability at this time, because that's what you need the most. When we are in a place of emotional exhaustion, we need to let our guards down and just soften and be vulnerable. Because if you keep holding your guard, if you keep trying to protect yourself from feeling, you're just gonna bottle it down even more. Please call in your angels. Please talk to them. Go outside, have a conversation with them. Sit at your altar and have a conversation with them because they listen. They do listen. Maybe a journal will help you talk to them. But I don't know, I felt a lot of compassion for pile 2 because I deeply resonate with that feeling of just feeling like you don't have it in you anymore. Especially as somebody who's deeply in tune with their emotions. I really, really I resonate with you and I want to send you love, and you have it in you. I promise that you do. Maybe you need a little break, and that's okay. But you can get back up, okay? But anyways, let's move on to pile 3. I'm like, that was like so heavy. I'm like, okay, pile 3. Oh, it's because my heart like resonated with them so much. And I'm like, oh my God. That was like, I get it. Sometimes life is heavy, okay? And that's just the truth. But we have the strength to move through, and we can't do it alone. We cannot do it alone, okay? We need each other. We need each other. That's just how it is. And it's vulnerable to need other people. It's vulnerable to need each other, but we do. Okay? But anyways, pile 3. If you picked this beautiful obsidian, your pile 3. And interestingly enough, this came out, and the first chakra reading, this card came out as well, which is called Pipestone. And it is associated, it is red, it's associated with the root chakra. And it's actually associated with connection to your roots, to your ancestors, to maybe like gifts that are being activated within you from past lifetimes or from your lineage. So if you feel called to that energy, that's beautiful. And I love that for you. And girl, me too. Okay. But anyway, the first card that came out here was the Magician. So it feels as though you are somebody who is deeply in touch with that creative force within you, and you know how powerful you are, and you know that whatever frequency that you are on and whatever you're putting your energy into, your life force into, you know that you can attract and magnetize and create through your thoughts, through your will, through that magical creative force within you. You know you have that power, and it feels like that power is also deeply inherited from your ancestors. So maybe in the way that you express your power, or the way that you express it, like through the tools or through the through the modality that you might use, it maybe was inherited from your lineage, from your bloodline, and maybe that's something that's activating within you right now. You know, like this beautiful wand towards the sky and this hand towards the earth. I just realized, like, it's like deeply connected with spirit and with the power of your intention. But also, you don't forget that you're deeply rooted, deeply connected with the earth, and deeply connected with your lineage and where you come from, and the gift that comes with that remembrance. Wow. Because it is remembrance. It was always in you. And you're waking up to that. Or maybe you've been waking up to that for a while, and it's just this ongoing, beautiful spiral of a journey. And with this Magician coming out with the 3 of Cups, reverse, by the way, it's kind of like you're in a space where you're realizing, oh my gosh, I'm really tapping into my power right now. And I'm also being asked to see beyond the surface when it comes to who gets access to my energy. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, okay? Not everybody should have access to you at this time. So you may be in a phase where you've let go of some people. You may be in a phase where you're reevaluating how social you want to be, or which groups you want to entertain, or what activities you want to be a part of, what groups of people you want around you. You may be in a space where you're realizing, your worth. You may be in a space where you're realizing, I am really powerful right now, and I need every single space that I enter to reflect that. And I'm going to be meticulous about that, because that's how much I believe in my creative force and in my power. I don't just give it away to just anybody. I don't give it away to people that are superficial, that just are interested in superficial connections with me. It feels like you're in a phase where you're not really interested in that, because you're going deeper with yourself, with your intentionality, and you're in creator mode. Like, there are certain things that you want to manifest, or certain things that you want for your life. And you know that certain environments are not going to be helpful for you to engage with at this time. So that is really interesting, you know? And I think that a lot of people on the spiritual path, we go through these moments of isolation or having to let certain people go, because we're tapping deeper into our gifts, and we're tapping deeper into listening to our spirit, listening to our ancestors, listening to the quiet whispers of our angels, of our guides, of our souls. And sometimes when we're in groups where there's not resonance, it can cause us to question ourselves, or it can cause us to leak energy, or it can cause us to internalize what other people think. And you're in a space where you don't want that. You want alignment. You want every single person that you hang out with, that you're in a group with, that you talk to, that you're serving. You want alignment over anything. And that's a beautiful place to be. And the Hierophant is coming out here too. So it's like deepening into it's like you're deepening into this ancestral guidance. And I keep getting ancestral because I feel like this came out for a reason. And it feels like you might be questioning certain beliefs that you may have had in the past, or questioning whether you want to engage with certain people or energies that have beliefs that kind of go against your values. And I feel like you're very interested right now in being in integrity with your values and really sticking to that, and knowing that, hey, I'm not gonna lose friends, or like, it's okay for me to lose friends or communities or people if they're not 100% in alignment with my values. I know what's important to me. And it feels like, you know, deep down that when you're in this space where you will not fold or go against your values for somebody else, and you have that deep self-trust, and you're deeply on a path where you're receiving this higher guidance, it's like, you know that the right people are just gonna appear. You're not worried about that, you know? Alignment appears when you feel the inner alignment within yourself. And that's what you're in this process right now of feeling that deeper alignment within. And being deeply in alignment with your morals, with your values, what you believe in. And wanting to be surrounded by people who also feel that way and who understand you. And that's why you're in a Page of Swords energy right now when it comes to your environment. You know, like, you're not jumping into things too quickly. You're not jumping into friendships, relationships, you know, just anything. You're in observer mode right now. You're observing, and you're saying, what's beneath the surface here? Is this in alignment with me? I'm observing myself. I'm observing what I'm going through. I'm observing who I'm becoming. And I'm also observing what is resonating with me at this time and what is not for me. And I'm cutting through the truth of that. But it's also, this is a page, so it feels like you're learning how to do this. And being patient with yourself is really important, and understanding you don't have to have all the answers today. Just allow this activation to happen, and remember to see beneath the surface, because some people have hidden intentions. Some people move weird. Some people don't move with integrity. And you're in a space where you're having to be very observant about what's entering your life. And you're in a space where you're like, not anything is just gonna enter and I'm just gonna let it enter. Like, I am deciding what gets to be a part of my experience and what does not get to be a part of my experience, because I'm aligning with my highest self. I'm walking a path that my ancestors paved out for me in a beautiful way. And I'm in a space where I'm creating magic, and I can't have people get in the way of that. I can't leak out my energy to people who don't deserve it. And so you're in a space where you're deeply observing people's intentions with you and deciding if you want to engage with that or not. And that's an important place to be, because you're protecting your energy in a really beautiful way. Obsidian, you're protecting yourself, babe, because you know the power that you hold. And I love that for you. Yes! I literally love that for you. Like, I can't. Yes. That's beautiful. And I feel like the Hierophant too adds this level of devotion. Like, you're getting more serious about your path. You're like, okay, I'm done with the BS. Like, I'm locking in with my ancestors. I'm locking in with my values. Like, we're like this, okay? And being locked in with your values protects you from the wrong things, okay? Being devoted to your values is self-protection within itself. Because anything that is not in alignment with your values, like, you don't even let that enter your field. Like, you don't even let people with, like, breathe the same air as you if they got the wrong intentions, okay? Like, miss me with that bullshit, okay? But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I felt like this needed to come through. Chakra video part 2. You know, this is root chakra. Like, you're grounding in. You're grounding all the way in to your power. It's not just here. Like, you're grounding that in to your reality. I love that for you. That feels like a huge activation. And yeah, but anyways, I'm so grateful that you're here. And I hope that these messages resonated with you, whichever message that you picked. And yeah, let me know if you have any requests on a pick a pile, or just, you know, any type of message requests or reading requests. I'm all ears, and I'm here to just spread the love that I feel with the tarot and the love that I feel with Oracle, because of how deeply it has transformed my life and how deeply I feel supported by these tools. And I just feel like it's such a no-brainer for me to share that, because it just feels fun and light, and it's just so magical to have a relationship with spirit in that type of way. And I love it. So anyways, I love you, and thank you for being here. I send you love. Have a beautiful day.